Hello, YouTube. Today, we got another couple sherry bombs. Stick around. Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Happy Hour. So today, we've got kind of a carryover. Like I said, if you saw the last video I did, I'm kind of on a little bit of a cask strength, batch strength sherry bomb kick. I noticed that I had quite a few bottles sitting there, and I figured, why not compare them all to one another? So if you watch my last video, I compared Tamdu, batch strength, batch number 4, a lot of batches there, to Abalur Abana. Now I used the Abalur Abana because it's kind of a known, it's probably my most well-known batch strength single malt, batch strength sherry bomb single malt. And I feel like it might be maybe everybody's. I say obviously not everybody, but I feel like I mentioned in the last video, if you just kind of Google, batch strength sherry bomb Reddit, I guarantee you probably 8 out of the first 10 suggestions are going to come up with Abalur Abana, and for good reason. It's a great whiskey, I think at a reasonable price for what you're getting, and it does exactly what it says in the tin. It's batch strength and it's sherried out the wazoo. So I kind of use that as my control. I'd never had a Tamdu before, any Tamdu, let alone the batch strength or a batch strength Tamdu, and I feel like it edged it out a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit more nuanced than the Abana. I feel like it was getting floral notes. I feel like it was just more nuanced. It was more well-rounded. It wasn't just that kind of not even overbearing. That's a terrible thing because I enjoy it. It wasn't just that Christmas cake, cinnamon, stewed fruits kind of flavor profile. There's a little bit more going on the Abalur as well, but it really hits that specialty very well. I feel like the Tamdu had a little bit more around the edges. It was getting a floral note, a little bit of barley sugar. So I feel like I'm going to make this my new control. So this is my new control for batch strength sherry bombs, the Tamdu. In this corner, in the blue corner, we've got Glendronach batch strength. Now this is the 8th version, batch strength 8, batch 8. This is 61%. This is a kick in the balls, but in a good way, if there's such a thing. I'm sure there is. So yeah, today we got Tamdu batch strength number 4, Tamdu batch strength batch number 4 versus Glendronach batch strength batch 8. Man, there's a lot of batches. Let's go. Let's see what we got. Any of you that have seen any of my other videos, you probably know I'm quite a big fan of Glendronach, even after Billy Walker's left and they're starting to maybe getting into some practices that the true enthusiasts don't love so much about chill filtering and all that kind of stuff. But I haven't had a Glendronach that I dislike yet. So I'm a big fan of Glendronach as a whole. And as you can see, I've had a good portion out of this bottle, not in a long time. I haven't had this in several months, actually. So this is going to be completely fresh to the nose and the palate. Yeah, so I mentioned this in the last video. One of the things that I like about batch strength whiskeys that I've found, I think it's starting to shine through a little bit more for me, is that it's a great way, batch strength sherry bombs is a great way to get to know the distillery's character a little bit. I know it sounds maybe counterintuitive because they're so overwhelming, they're strong and there's so much sherry and there's like a punch in the face of flavors. But the nuances or the differences, I feel like they all have that kind of common thread of that. They're all strong and they're all heavily sherried. But then there's the other thing that comes through, whatever that is. And I feel like maybe that's the distillery character a little bit. I've heard that Tamdus have that floral note a little bit more. So that really makes sense that I smelt that. And then now that I know Glendronach's more, I smell Glendronach. Like I'd hate to say, I don't want to sound pretentious, but I feel like if somebody gave this to me, I would feel very strongly that my first guess would be Glendronach. We'll just leave it at that. There's something about it that reminds me of the 12, or reminds me of the 15, even a little bit of the 18 maybe. There's just something, that character, the bright fruits, kind of like Macallan in the same way. There's a distillery, every time I try it, I'm like, yeah, that's what that is. And if you like Glendronach, you're going to love this. It does not smell like 61%. It's not overpowering by any stretch of the imagination, at least on the nose. So there's the sherry, right? The sherry influence, obviously. On top of that, I'm getting these bright, sweet fruits, almost like a bit of a strawberry, like a sweet, like a confectionery strawberry candy. Oh, it smells so good. Yeah, it's like a bright fruit strawberry, and then the sherry note. So it's a nice contrast with one another. The deeper, darker kind of cinnamon fruitcake notes, and then that brighter sweet note. All right, let's go with the back to back it with the Tamdu. This should be interesting. Oh wow, this is totally different than I remember it last time. Now, again, these back to backs really are really fascinating. You can smell something different almost every time depending on what you have contrasting it. So this, I'm getting a really sweet note now as well. That barley sugar is really coming through. I'm thinking Deanston 12. There's that, I mentioned this last time with this. I get a little bit of that sweet barley Deanston 12. And then this kind of floral note as well. It's really interesting to have very, very similar whiskey. Now, this is purely Oloroso sherry casks, I believe. This guy, I think, is both Pedro and Pedro and Oloroso sherry casks. So there's a little bit some different sherry influences happening here. So obviously, he's going to give you something different between the two. Wow, now it's fascinating. I'm getting the orange, and I'm getting a little bit of the apple that I get on straight bourbon, ex-bourbon aged whiskeys, where I really get green apple shines through quite a bit, and on younger whiskeys. That's all I can smell now, comparing it to this. Wow. They're very different, but very similar. How's that for helpful? Wow, fascinating. Okay, we're going to taste the Glendronach. Oh, it's so good. It's Glendronach. If you like Glendronach 12, I don't know that it's as heavily sherried as the 15. That may sound stupid. No, it's probably not stupid, right? Because the 15 is going to be older. It's probably more of a sherry influence. I'm getting younger. I'm getting that bourbon kind of sweet, younger, fruity notes, pear and apple, along with that sherry, and then the blast of, it doesn't drink 61 at all. I was surprised at how well the Tamdu drank as far as its batch is 57.8 or whatever. It doesn't drink like 61. It's really nice. If you like Glendronach, I think you'll really like this. Like I said, it tastes like, I had a sample of the 8-year-old Glendronach. It kind of reminds me of like an 8, between the 8 and the 12. Or was it the 8 or 10? I don't remember what the hell it was, but whatever the younger, I think it was 8. And then the 12-year-old, it kind of reminds me of like a younger 12-year-old, just kind of ramped up a little bit more on the spicy and then the strength note. And neither of those are bad things in my opinion. So if you like Glendronach 12, I think you really dig this. But it does come across kind of young, and it's definitely not a one-trick pony. There's a couple of ponies in here. No, a couple of tricks. The pony knows a couple tricks. My analogies are useless today. There's definitely a few things going on here, but oh my God, am I going to say this? Oh, that floral, that sweet floral note is so interesting. I keep saying floral, but I don't know what flower it is, but it's just a sweet, like, freshness. It's like barley. That's really good. I'm going to give it to the Tamdu again. These are both amazing whiskeys. I think if you can find either of them and you like this type of profile, you'll enjoy both of them immensely. I just feel like there's maybe a little more youth in the Glendronach that gives it only a couple of nuances. It's Glendronach, which is good. If you like Glendronach, it's Glendronach. It's not messing around. It kind of, like I said, it tastes like a younger Glendronach, just kind of kicked up a couple notches. But this Tamdu, there's just something kind of special about it. I feel like it's maybe, I think I mentioned this in the other video, I feel like it's right now even a little bit beyond my palate, because every time I taste it, I taste something different. I'm really pleasantly surprised with that. Yeah, this is a great, I think this is going to be a very good tool for me to, well, to get hammered, but also to, to learn a little bit and, you know, to continue my tasting notes and tasting skills, I guess. I guess it is a bit of a skill. Yeah, it is a bit of a skill. It's acquired, right? It takes time and sampling, which I have no problem with. But yeah, these are both amazing. I'm gonna give it to the Tamdu. Tamdu is gonna stay as the my measuring stick or my yardstick for this type of whiskey moving forward. I don't know what's gonna go up against next, but let's wait and see. I got a few more bottles in mind. So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you'd like to subscribe, that would be cool too. Thanks for watching Happy Hour, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.